Yeah. Hello. Thank you for joining us. This is Brave New History. We're here with Gala sisters. Is it Gala or Gala?
Gala.
Gala, brilliant. So how should we start? So you have a bunch of channels, right, where you talk about true crime is one of them, right?
So yeah, our main channel is the Gala sisters. You can find over there talking about true crime. We've done a lot with Marilyn Manson, a lot with Johnny Depp, a lot with Danny Masterson. Right now, we're working on the Idaho murders, and we're working on the
Alex Murdaugh
trial,
which started yesterday.
Mm-hmm. We also can be found at Adventures with the Gala Fam, which encompasses 4 people.
Oh, I think, is there a delay?
There is. There's always a delay. Which encompasses 4 people.
Yeah.
Rachel, myself, my name is Rhea, our roommate, Motley Crue King, and of course, last but not least, the Gala daughter, Emma.
Yep.
Motley Crue King, our roommate, has a channel called Motley Crue King. Mm-hmm. Over there, you can find us all over there. And he has a second channel called Spitting the Facts with the DMC fam. So we actually do run 4 channels, despite the fact that they have different roommates' names on them, depending upon who you're talking to and where they're coming from.
We also have 2 podcasts, one on movies and TV called Gabbing with the Gala Sisters, which you will also find our roommate Motley Crue King with us regularly. And we also have another podcast on WWE, mostly WWE wrestling, but wrestling in general, called Mr. and Ms. Crazy Wrestling Family. And that is hosted by our roommate Motley Crue King, but we produce it.
Yes.
Yeah, good deal. You know, I'm surprised at how popular the whole wrestling thing is.
Really?
Yeah, the biggest Facebook group, which is like, I don't know how massive it was, but the biggest Facebook group on Facebook is about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising.
Huge. We're huge WWE fans in this house. WWE is basically a religion in this house. All 4 of us love the WWE.
But since you're in Minnesota with us, you know, there's also local underground wrestling from Steel Domain Wrestling and Midwest All-Star Wrestling that has local events.
Our friend Fred is the ring guy for those.
Mm-hmm. And those are really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Yeah, I've never been to one. Maybe I should check it out. I see it on Facebook from time to time.
They're really fun. And the guys that run it are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's Laszlo. I know he's a Mason. He's into that. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
Laszlo? Yeah.
I didn't know he was a Mason. But
he also does what's that?
I didn't know he was a Mason, but I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good deal. So yeah, I'm also into true crime also. Like big into the whole the Delphi murders, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yes.
They recently think that they caught Bridge Guy.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. I saw something about that on the Facebook group, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like with Idaho murders, do you know if they have a motive yet? It just seems weird that it just seems so random.
They will get one. They're still working on it. He's due back in court in April.
Yeah, they arrested a young man, I think he was about 29, by the name of Brian Koberger, and they said that he was stalking at least
one of the girls,
Kaylee.
Yeah.
So we're going to see more about that. But yeah, we also do cover Masonic things on our channel. We usually do that with a live, and you're certainly welcome to come on our channel and discuss it too. And
we have interviewed things like Charles Ward, who is a past worshipful master of the state of Alaska, who also is a referee for 907 Wrestling. We've also covered what was that guy's name? We've also covered another past worshipful master has been on our channel. We've also done some stuff with people like Scott Anderson, who is past worthy grand patron of Minnesota.
Yeah.
We've also talked to Kurt Johnson.
Yeah, Yeah, I know him actually in the Scottish Rite Knights of St. Andrew. He was
I know he's in that. Mhm.
excellent master, I think either right before me or right after me.
He's
But yeah,
also we've also
I knew he was big
interviewed
into the OES.
we've also interviewed Kurt and Sherry Ann Johnson, who are past worthy patron of the now defunct Lake Harriet number 202 chapter. We have also done various interviews with various people. We went on Aaron Smith Levin's channel to speak about Freemasonry and Eastern Star. We also went on Sean Atwood's channel to speak about Freemasonry and Eastern Star.
And it actually ended up coming up as a topic again on our channel because our channel is about 3 years old, and we hadn't been talking about it much recently. But then we started covering the Danny Masterson trial and Scientology, and we started seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, you know, Scientology and Masonry are basically in the same thing. They're both cults." And we're like,
Basically
no,
the
no, no,
same.
no, no, no. And so we started reaching out to these guys that were covering Scientology and Danny Masterson, and we asked them, can we come on your channel and discuss it with people, because nobody else was. And we wanted to clear it up because it's not at all the same. And having a community and being a part of something like that is not a bad thing. And they're kind of starting to paint it as a bad thing.
Most of the feedback we've gotten has been positive. There was one woman who was a past grand chaplain of Minnesota Eastern Star who threw actual shade at me and basically said, Rhea, you're a terrible human being and you should stop talking about this, which is not appropriate.
Yeah.
Why should you stop talking about it?
Because I compared, she just looked at the thumbnail of the Aaron Smith Levin's channel.
Yeah.
And she's like, you compared Eastern Star to Scientology, and you're a horrible human being, and you broke your altar vow. No, I did not. We talked to
That's weird, especially coming from OES, which there's supposed to be like all about, I don't know, like whatever you want to believe, you can believe, you know what I mean? Like religious tolerance. So it's a little bit weird to have that, especially from a chaplain.
Yeah, she's a past grand chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who she is,
no,
but that's as much identifying information as you're going to get.
And the Masons that we are friends with have been extremely supportive of us going out and speaking up. And they've sent us, you know, so many articles and documents and been like, here's your bullet points for talking. I mean, of course, we spoke to Kurt Johnson before we went and talked to you. Of course we did.
Kurt Johnson is very important. I think he is a member of Lake Harriet. He is also, I think he's past grand chaplain of Minnesota Eastern Star as well. I think he is running for line at some point. I don't really know. His brother-in-law is Bob Davis, who I think is in the Grand Line in Minnesota. I think. Yeah. Is he? Yeah, that's Bob Davis's brother-in-law. Did you know that?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Sherry Ann Davis Johnson is his wife, who was the older sister of Bob Davis.
Yes.
I'm sure you know who that is.
Yeah. Bob Davis?
Yeah. Very good friend.
Yeah. He was treasurer of Lake Harriet back in the day.
Yeah.
How long have you been a Mason?
Now he moved to good question. Let me get my calculator out here. I joined when I was 19.
Okay.
I shouldn't need a calculator, but and I'm 38 now. So how long ago was that? My system resources are being used up, so I don't think I can pull up my calculator.
9 years ago?
But a while.
Yeah. So my journey into Mason or into Eastern Star is not the same as my wonderful sisters. My journey begins and I was 14 or 13 years old, and I went to a private Catholic school in Minneapolis. That private school has since moved. I'm not going to say which one because it was a terrible school. And I met this young woman who always talked about, I love rainbow, rainbow this, rainbow that, rainbow this, rainbow that, rainbow this. And I was like, what the heck is rainbow? So I joined at 14. I am a past worthy advisor of the now defunct Dead Harmony Assembly number 3, located in Roseville, Minnesota, at Tulsa Summit Lodge. I am also a past, I'm also a past Grand Nature, a past Grand Representative, a past Grand Choir Director, a past Grand Outer Observer. I have served as Esther in Lake Harriet, which I joined just a few years ago when I went back to, after I got divorced. I was within a very controlling situation, and the guy was like, okay, leave the Masonry behind. It's a cult. Fuck you. It's a cult, basically. And so then I went to Grand Assembly down in Iowa with the wonderful Sophie. Oh my God, that girl was so amazing. She's still a very good friend of mine to this day. Sophie, sweetie, I love you so much. And I'm so happy that you're one of my friends. And I came back and I contacted a couple of different chapters, and I wound up joining Lake Harriet.
Yeah.
Which is now gone. And
Sadly.
yours?
So I did not join anything in high school. I didn't do anything. I was on the varsity swim team. I was working. I had my own things that I was doing, and I had zero interest whatsoever in doing it. But then I became an adult. Again, I also married a Jarek.
Who was his best friend?
Which was her husband's best friend, and now we're divorced happily. And I, unfortunately, after I got divorced, my life just fell apart. My job fell apart. All my friends were like, we're going to go somewhere else. It's all your fault, blah, blah, blah. We don't like that you changed. And I got super depressed, and she had rejoined, or you had joined Eastern Star, and she started talking about it and saying that it was great. And I'm like, well, I need something, people to fall back on and something to be a part of, because the restaurant I'm a part of wasn't there anymore. So we started talking to people, and they told me, you don't have to join. Make sure you're not doing it just because of her. And they kept bringing that up. You're not being pressured into it. And I said, yep, I'm not. I'm doing this because I want to. And that's one of the things that we talked about with Aaron, that if it were a cult, they wouldn't let you leave, and they would pressure you into joining, which never happened. And then I joined, and I became the warder. I loved it.
I'm also a recipient of the Grand Cross of Color, which is a honorary Masonic degree, which makes me a second degree Rainbow Girl. I had to go through the initiation again, and it was just very beautiful. It was girls who, held this beautiful, exemplary service, and I could not be happier to have that title. It is an honorary title that is something that my name is in McAllister, Oklahoma Lodge, where Reverend Sexton, if you guys don't know who Reverend Sexton is, Reverend Sexton created Rainbow in 1922. He wrote the order ritual in a day. Yes, Job's Daughters was different back then. Job's Daughters was you had to be related to a Mason to be able to join. The De Molay, which was founded in 1919, you didn't have to be. And Reverend Sexton was very upset because he had girls that were coming to him and saying, I wish I could join Job's Daughters like I can join De Molay. So he wrote a ritual in a single afternoon. The very first initiation had over 100 girls initiated. The parts in Rainbow are love, religion, nature, immortality, fidelity, patriotism, and service. They all represent the different colors of the rainbow. They're all lessons. There are many times in the Rainbow ritual when they refer to the Eastern Star ritual, which I didn't even realize until I joined Eastern Star.
Yeah,
which is very beautiful. The rituals are very beautiful.
Yeah.
Prior to, I think, like 1950, Eastern Star ritual was a 5-night event. You had one initiation for Ada, one for Ruth, one for Esther, one for Martha, and one for Electa. Electa is a made-up thing that they made up. It's from the Lady Elect. There are 5 women heroines of the Bible. Very similar to Rainbow. However, the line is flipped backwards in Eastern Star, and it bothers the crap out of me. And I'm like, wait, your line, because the line is not the way I think it should be.
Yes.
And it bothers me.
But they're all going to do things a little differently.
Like, your line's backwards.
Yeah.
Now,
so meaning like the line from the ritual, they have it reversed?
No, like the way that like where people sit, like it starts in the south in it starts near the altar to the south in Rainbow, and then Eastern Star, it starts in the north and goes to the south. And it confuses the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I'm always like, wait, what? It confuses me.
That's okay. It's okay to get confused. So what are they going to do? Fire you? Now, I have a 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She has autism and a speech language disorder, so she's disabled.
She tried joining Joby's, but she didn't like it.
Yeah, we don't really have Rainbow here in Minnesota anymore, so she joined Joby's. Unfortunately, it didn't really go well. There are parts of it that she enjoyed, like going to the parades and stuff like that and being in them, but they weren't super inclusive.
Despite the fact that the associate guardian is of Bethel 1, which is met out of Lake Harriet Lodge, is a special ed teacher. I can't figure out how come they can't transfer that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Mm-hmm. But when I did bring Emma there, the Masons in the lodge were very protective of her and did help try to transition her into being there. And they're very loving and kind towards her. And since, I'm not with her dad anymore, that was very helpful at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. Now we have our beautiful roommate who is looking to join Lake Harriet, actually.
Mm-hmm. And he already is a positive role model for her.
He's looking to join Lake Harriet, and he will when he's ready.
Yes, he will.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a 6-year-old son, and we went into an installation recently, and I'm surprised that he sat through the whole thing, right? And he loved it, right? Like, because we had pie afterwards, and he wanted to come back, right? We went to a pancake breakfast before, and he wanted chocolate chips in his pancake, right? And they found a way to do it, but then he said that there were too many chocolate chips and there were too much in the center, so he didn't like it. He was crying and he ran away, but
oh, no.
It was really cute. But he likes going there, right? Because I don't know, you wouldn't think a kid would like to sit through and listen, right, to the installation, but yeah, so maybe DeMolay.
I was a DeMolay mom for like 5 minutes, and then COVID hit, and then my life changed, and I was like, I'm done doing this.
We actually went to the former George Floyd Memorial with the DeMolay.
With give me a second, Hiawatha DeMolay.
Mm-hmm. That was interesting.
I had to think about which DeMolay for a second, but I actually wound up saying, you know what, I can't do this. My life is too different right now. I don't have time for this. Because I had to move, because COVID hit, and then I had to move in with my sister so that she had more help taking care of her special needs kid, because it wasn't fair.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I had to basically take over as a second parent.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I was past master counselor of Hiawatha back in the day.
What year?
I don't know. I have to look back. I don't remember offhand. Yeah. But I know at the installations, or at least back in my day, we would have like the pamphlet that they hand out would list all the previous past master counselors. Right?
Were you with Bruce Atwater by chance?
Yes. Yep.
And possibly, I'm not sure if I should say this. I can. Mitchell Layden would have been around in those days.
Yeah. Well,
I hate to tell you this, but
I've actually never met him, but
he is no longer alive. I don't know what happened, but he is no longer alive.
Sadly.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
His sister was.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah. So I'm sure that, that's a very rare thing, but Bruce Atwater and his sister Alicia went to high school with me. So I knew them through both high school and Masonic youth events.
Yeah. Do you keep up with Monique?
No.
Or not really? No.
I haven't spoken to Monique in years. I don't know what happened to her. No idea.
Yeah.
She got out of my life a long time ago.
That happens sometimes.
Last time I spoke to her.
And we're both nearly 40, so it's like, you have friends that we're friends for a time, and then it doesn't always last.
No.
Yeah.
So these days we are going to be, like I said, we are going over to Robbinsdale as soon as we can make it work.
Yes.
And we are going to rejoin Eastern Star. It's going to be really, 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 really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We still get invited to stuff all the time.
So you were in Rainbow.
Me? Yeah.
And you were in Job's Daughters, or no?
Yeah. No, my daughter was.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, with the similarities with Rainbow Girls and Eastern Star there's some striking similarities with
There
Job's Daughters and Eastern Star, because
There
I
are.
remember I went to like an initiation at Job's Daughters, and then when I was initiated in Eastern Star, like the line is kind of funny. Like, I don't know if we're allowed to say it, but I don't know. I guess the viewers will have to join to find out what's funny about that. But where, like, where they explain what the letters around the star means,
Yep.
right? And then they do a similar thing in Job's Daughters, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't go into it.
There is also a similar thing in Rainbow too.
Yeah.
How about that?
I like that part.
I can't say what it is, but if you look at the signet, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a signet in front of me. I don't have one in front of me right now. Sometimes I do, but I don't have one right now because I don't know where it is, because we just had a roommate move in.
Yes.
And I can't find anything.
Nope, but not right now. It'll all sort itself out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you wonder about like how the Eastern Star, how it came to be, right? Like,
Star was.
you said they originally had 5 degrees.
They had five nights. The initiation was 5 nights. Now it's just 1. So like when Laura Ingalls Wilder and Almanzo Wilder would have been members of Eastern Star, because they served as worthy patron and patron, I believe, 3 times. I don't know how I even know that. I just do. It's one of those things that's just like, why do you even? Their initiation would have been very different. If you would like to see the original ritual, I'm sure Kurt Johnson would probably let you see it.
He probably would.
He has it. A PDF of it. I don't know where he got it, but he has it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that when the Eastern Star was originally started, they wore aprons, just like Masons do.
Yes. Actually, the lambskin apron is very significant. In Rainbow, they actually do give you one to tie around your wrist. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you how you get it, but you do get one.
That's really cool.
I've talked about that before. The apron lecture, obviously,
like a mini apron?
Like a mini lambskin apron. Ties around your left wrist.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yep. And in some states, they wear them to all meetings, and in some states, they do not. In Iowa, Minnesota, we did not wear them. I'm not even sure if I know where mine is anymore. I'm sure I can get another one.
Yeah, you probably could.
It wouldn't be hard.
No.
I know the right people.
Yeah. I had no idea. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing it like as a...
It's like a bracelet.
That's
like a
cool.
little tiny bracelet.
Yeah, like a bracelet. Yeah.
I thought that was really neat.
That is really neat.
Yeah, and so the guy who founded Rainbow, last name is it SAX?
SEXON, and I think it's Sexton. His first name is, I think it's, is it W Marks? I think it's W Mark Sexton. It's William Mark Sexton.
So pretty close to your last name.
Yeah,
that's exactly where I was going with
but
that.
he apparently he was a really nice guy. I think he's buried in McAlester, Oklahoma, which is where Rainbow is centrally located. If you want to go anywhere, Rainbow has 3 levels as well. There is the local level, then there is the grand level, and then there is the supreme level. The supreme level is mostly adults. However, girls get to do the acting parts. That's all I really know. I've never been to Supreme Assembly. I just know what it is. You'd have to ask someone who isn't me, because I'm not a past Grand Worthy Advisor. I'm only a past Grand Nature, past Grand Choir Director, past Grand Representative, and past Grand Outer Observer. That's all I am. I do not have a past Grand Worthy Advisor title behind my name. It'd be cool, but I don't. Because we were a shared state with Iowa, we actually wound up, the girls in Minnesota were never allowed to be in the grand line. Actually, it would go, I'm sorry, Grand Worthy Associate Advisor and then Grand Worthy Advisor, because it didn't go all the way through the line because girls would age out.
Yeah.
I know, like in Job's Daughters, you go all the way through the grand line. I do know that. I just know that.
How old do you have to be to join Eastern Star? I forget.
18.
18? So you can just do it right out of high school?
Probably.
Yeah. So you could just jump from Rainbow or Job's Daughters right into Eastern Star.
I didn't, but you could.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
I would have if he'd allowed me to.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, was he religious?
No. Well,
Or
his
what was his thing?
family was. He didn't like it. His family was very anti-rainbow. They didn't like anything to do with Eastern Star. They didn't do with Masonry. They're like, it's an evil, it's a cult, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's not. That is a myth. For anyone out there watching this who believes that it's a cult, that's a myth.
Yeah, we got a lot of
Well,
that.
I mean, what is a cult, really? I mean, what makes something a cult?
You can't leave. You get stuck in it forever.
It takes your freedom.
Yes.
And Masonry is all about giving you freedom of religion, freedom to, be who you are and have your own beliefs. I mean, that's what it was founded upon. That's why it was created.
It was, I mean, obviously the most famous Mason probably ever is George Washington. Right? I mean,
probably. I mean, Ben Franklin. Yeah.
Ben Franklin was a
Probably
Mason.
George Washington is probably the most famous. Yeah.
The most recent president ever to be a Mason is Gerald Ford. I know that.
Yeah. A lot of people say Clinton.
Clinton was in DeMolay. He was never a Mason.
Yes.
His plaque is permanently, as some of my friends say, out for cleaning. I have a lot of friends who are past state master counselors of Iowa and Minnesota. So that's why I say that. I have a lot of friends who are. Tons of them.
Yeah. Yeah, good deal. So let's see. I lost my train of thought. What I forget where I was going to go with that. But
okay.
oh yeah. I was going to say, there's a lot of guys who they belong to every Masonic body. Right? So they're in the Scottish Rite,
York Rite, the Scottish Rite, York Rite, Masonry, Shriners, Eastern Star.
I guess you could say it can be a cult if you want it to be, right? Like it just consumes all your life.
But that's not how I've ever treated it. Even when I was in high school, I was still in marching band. I was still in choir.
Yeah.
I was still in orchestra. I did some plays, So
well, and at one part of joining Eastern Star, they say that we're teaching you skills that you can take out into the real world so that you become leaders. It's not just supposed to stay here. And that's a good skill to have, I think.
Yeah. I still have this. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is my gavel from when I was installed as worthy advisor in 2001. And it has my name on it. It has the assembly. It has the dates I was worthy advisor, and has my color ribbon on it. I still have that. And I think it's a cool thing to still have.
That is really cool.
And honestly, if any one of my friends is ever to serve, they're free to use it. They just have to ask.
Yeah.
I love to show that.
That is really cool.
I don't know where my Grand Cross of Color jewels. I'm going to talk to Mary Dana.
Yeah, you will.
Or I'll have to talk to Sabrina. Yeah. So I obviously have served as a lot of past grand titles. I probably have more titles than most people I know.
You have a ton.
I have tons of them. I'm also obviously when you take your graduation from Rainbows, the way I've always explained it, it's called a majority. I know DeMolay do it, and I know Job's daughters do it as well. I've always called it your graduation because I think it's a way to explain it to the lay person out there who is watching.
Yeah.
Roommate's opening door.
Yeah, no worries. So if you were to try to explain what Masonry is, right? I know it's kind of hard because it's it doesn't have an analog to a lot of different things. What would you say?
A place for fellowship, a place for friendship, a place for where you choose your family. Our past worthy patron, Kurt Johnson, always says there are 3 families: the one you're born into, the one you marry into, and the one you choose. That is his quote. That is his life quote. And I tend to think that Masonry and its appendage bodies are places where you can have friends, lifelong friends, things that change, things that become of you. I would not be sitting here today if I was not a past rainbow girl. I would still be the shy, scary little girl that I was when I was 13 years old. I would not be talking to this. I would be shy. I would not be having this. Our channel, our whole brand would cease to exist.
Yep.
The person who we live with would cease to be here. My beautiful sister and I didn't know we'd even be friends. Because, of course, the most important thing is fellowship, love, friendship. In Minnesota, there were 2 assemblies that had beautiful names, one of which was friendship, because it is friendship. See the Rose Lecture. I can't say it, but see the Rose Lecture. If you do not know what that is, Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
There's also something called harmony, working together, which is my past assembly. Working together harmoniously to make the world a better place.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, I think you summed it up perfectly, that it's about fellowship, raising money for nonprofits, making a difference in the world, and making the world a better place. I know you Masons say make good men better or something like that. And I think that's a good motto, because every single Mason I met has been a pretty good person. There's a few bad apples.
When I was in Rainbow, there is a position that is honored. It is called the Mother Advisor. The Mother Advisor's job is to sit in the East and to help the worthy advisor. In the installation for the Mother Advisor, and help the Mother Advisor, it says something along the lines of, there are some who are not fortunate enough to have a mother. For those people, something like this, your job is even harder. You have to be the mother that those people never had. I like to think of myself as the Mother Advisor of everything that's going on.
House mother.
Yeah, like a house mother. Not that different from like Pose or whatever you want to talk about.
Would you like to meet our roommate? I think he would like to say hi.
Should go get him, please?
Yes, we've got, is it the cat roommate or Motley Crue roommate?
Motley Crue.
Dylan.
Dylan, would you come here, honey? Stop chewing.
How's that?
He's just chewing. He's being annoying. Dylan, don't be shy, hon. Motley, don't be shy. So my journey into Masonic life is very much a part of who the girl you see here today. Do you have anything that you would like?
Hey, so this is what is it? Motley Crue
King.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Motley Crue King.
Yes.
Yeah, and so you have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. What do you do on yours?
I cover mainly heavy metal. I cover a lot of wrestling things and other stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
good deal. So you guys have two wrestling channels.
Well, we have
Between
one
all of
podcast
you, yeah?
and then one.
Yeah.
One. Yes. Yes.
Do you have anything you want to
Got it.
ask?
Yeah. Anything you want to ask about Masonry?
This is
Not at this moment in time.
okay. When you're ready, you can
Mhm.
talk to him.
Okay. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
We found you a Mason.
We did.
Yep.
That's
Well,
very
you
rare.
know, yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't want him to, feel pressure or whatnot. But
he
yeah.
doesn't.
No, I'm ready. I'm excited to join this. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, good deal. So yeah, I mean, as far as Masonry, like what it is, I think like for me, the essence is like acknowledging each other, like being respectful, right? Because like you get grandiose titles, like, especially within the Scottish Rite, you get titles, right? And in the OES, they're always like acknowledging you in front of everybody. So if there's a person that wasn't acknowledged for something, they're acknowledged just for the sake of acknowledging them, right? Which so I think like, I don't know, respect is like a big part of it too, right? Where you're kind of, I don't know.
It becomes like a family, like a brotherhood, a sisterhood. There's a song that is the majority song in Rainbow, and the words is, and then they called me sister, and love poured out to me, which like it was like, sorry, Jordy's song always makes me cry. Because
Yeah, it sounds like a tearjerker.
it is.
I've heard it many times.
But basically, they talk about like, then I learned of faith and hope and most of all charity. And then they called me sister and love poured out to me. And I'm like, okay, really? Like, that's a very beautiful song. It is very much, it's like having an extension of your family that isn't there.
Yeah.
Like fraternal family. Oh my God, I've turned into Kurt Johnson.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Very important part of our lives, even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And,
teaches you good communication skills too. Like you said, respect and how to approach other people and celebrate other people, because a lot of people just want it to be all about them. And
Yeah.
you step out of yourself and start thinking about the
Stepping
world
out of
around
your
you.
comfort zone in a sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a place to belong. It gives you people to love. It gives you the ability to love someone, whether they're like you or not like you.
Mhm.
It gives you the ability to have friends. Like, look at like some of the past worshipful masters of Tuster Summit Lodge, which is located in Roseville, and how different backgrounds that they have. Master Cook, Master Horn, Master Sorensen. Those guys all come from very different backgrounds, but they're all friends at the end of the day, which I think is really cool.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Or
I agree.
Or like look at like Master Brothers or like Master whoever. Those guys are all different people who probably wouldn't even give each other acknowledgement or recognition if it wasn't for this beautiful organization that needs to not die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rainbow in Iowa is down from 54 assemblies to just 4.
Sad.
That is
From when to when? Is that like just within...
that was from back in my day to now. That's not good.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
Yes. A lot of this we're dwindling.
Yeah, you wonder if it's not just like a cultural swing that it'll just kind of tick back, or if it's like people don't like to join stuff anymore.
I don't know. I mean, they're
deal
going
is.
to have to find other ways. Like Lake Harriet, I'm sorry, you guys, didn't need to die.
No.
You didn't need to. You guys went through all that headache and heartache for no reason.
Well, I think that we're all on YouTube here, so I think that they're not utilizing social media in a good way, because that's where people are. That's how you reach people, is by doing this, and you are actually told, no, don't do that, and that's not helpful.
Yeah.
Or in Rainbow, we have, I don't know if you can see in this lighting, but I have green hair and she has purple. You're not allowed to do that. Well,
Not yet.
You're isolating people by doing that. Yeah. You're pushing them away.
And that's a very negative connotation, might I add.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, when they had to, they went back in my day, you had to be, I think it was it 12 and up, 11 and up. Now Rainbow and Job's Daughters are 10 and up.
Mm-hmm.
Malay is still 12 to 21. But, I know a lot about this.
But they have squires now.
Mm-hmm. They have raindrops for Rainbow too, which is like people who are going to be. That's what they're called. I don't know. And bees for Job's Daughters is called bees.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Joby to be, which is kind of funny.
Jobies. They're called bees.
They're called bees, as far as I know. And these lodges, they're gonna continue closing because Masonry is being lumped into Scientology. It's being lumped into People of Praise, People of Hope, Evergreen, IHOP. I could go on forever.
Yeah.
IHOP?
International House of Prayer. They preach.
Okay, I was thinking about the pancakes.
No,
I haven't heard of it.
No, they preach end time.
I haven't heard of IHOP, or what were the others? Evergreen? What's that?
People of Praise. I don't really know too much about them. Evergreen, People of Hope, which is what The Handmaid's Tale is based upon.
Yeah.
I did not know that. People of Hope. It's like a religion, or?
I mean,
yes.
Love Sean Atwood, but there's so much on his channel that was like, all the prison guards and the boys in blue are all Masonic and they own the police department. And we're like,
no.
He has almost 1 million subscribers and that's what's happening there.
How
much does seniority play a role? You got a comment.
Oh yeah, here we can put this up here. So yeah, this is Bryce. He has feminism.
How much does
let's see
seniority play a role in lodge leadership? Could aging leadership partially explain the lack of presence on social media?
100%.
I think the answer to that question is how much seniority. Not as much as you might think. Not as much as you might think. Because for a time you're elevated, but then you too have to go back to the ranks.
Well, there's another one out there too.
Could aging leadership? Yes, because a lot of times when we have people like, we'll talk about this, and they're like, no, stay off of that. I'm like, excuse me, did you just tell me not to do something I know would work?
Like when Lake Harriet closed, we were asked our opinion for suggestions, and we were shot down.
Mm-hmm.
We are like, no, that won't work.
But you can't know something won't work if you didn't even try.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I remember way back in the day, like just the whole like old people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with old people. I shouldn't maybe phrase it in that way, but that there was this Super Bowl commercial. Do you remember that? Where there's the devil and he's wearing a Masonic ring.
Yes. Oh my God.
And he's offering this guy a sports car in exchange for his soul, right? And like all the Masons over like 80 were like all about like, oh, this is a terrible commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it portrays Masonry in a bad light. But I thought it was cool. Like you're being associated with sports cars, right? And I think like I don't think they're really going to associate with the devil so much, right? But it's like this is like a good image, right? Because it's
the only way to get through to the youth is to find ways that they understand it. The other thing is too is that those Masonic rings that you're talking about, people disrespect those, and I'm like, I basically want to tell people, can I have your Masonic ring because you're not being respectful with it?
What?
Remember, Rach, you had an incident.
I had a coworker that was wearing one, and he's like, oh yeah, it's Illuminati, blah 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 blah.
No, the Illuminati does not exist.
So he had a ring. He had a Masonic ring, and he thought it was from Illuminati.
Yep.
What did you tell him?
And he was telling people that.
And what did you tell him?
I'm like, no, that's not what it's for. And I can bring in my sister, and we can explain it to you. He did not want to hear that, though.
You kind of chased him away in a sense.
The thing is that people say, well, Masons are bad. Well, okay, but Masons have been the soundtrack of my youth. Whether it be Gene Freeze, who was the best rainbow dad that ever existed. I miss that guy. Talking about him, I get teary-eyed because he's not with us anymore. And that guy was like my dad.
Rest in peace to him.
Yes, that guy was like my dad. Or like some of the rainbow dads were not very good. Some of them weren't, but hold on, because I'm a really good rainbow dad. Let me think. Or Mike Benning, who I still talk to this day. I love Mike Benning. I love him. I love him. I just talked to him not even that long ago.
Yeah.
But these people, these friendships last a lifetime. But sometimes people are just not nice, and there's nothing I can do about people not being nice. I mean,
that's just kind of the way the world is.
And the world's not a very good place at all.
Right now.
Yeah, right now, of course.
We need to find a way to salvage what's left of these organizations, or they're going to die with the times. Whether it be Masonry, whether it be DSW, but what is it? I don't know what it is.
I wouldn't know.
Ray, help me. I don't know. The drinking where we drink the DFW, DSW, whatever. You're not. The club.
Oh, VFW.
Yeah. The DFW, yes, the DFW, the Lions Club, the American Legion. All those are not going to exist. The Knights Templar, any of that stuff. It's all going to die.
Yeah.
DAR, SAR.
Yeah. Well, think about it like people, if you want to go have a cold one with your friends, you can just go online and you can go on TikTok or something like that and hang out with people and party. And then you don't have to tip your bartender. You don't have to get sick. People aren't leaving their homes as much. And I know that a lot of Masonic lodges did not allow people to have their meetings virtually over Zoom or anything like that during the lockdowns. And I think they're shooting themselves in the foot by doing that. I read about it on Reddit that some of them weren't allowing it.
Yeah.
No, and we got to find ways to come up with our younger generation, people, who are
like my age.
Yeah.
For example. Rhea, I want to take a swing at this. You were saying something when we were DoorDashing a couple of nights ago that I could pretty much save.
You could help save.
Yes, I could help save this.
Yeah. By showing look at me, look at what I do. I do this cool Masonic thing, and
I could do this. Cool. Yeah, I could do pretty much everything and anything I could to save.
Yeah, to help. To
this Masonic thing. Yes,
to assist it.
Yes, and I'm very excited to join in the next however long it's going to be.
Yeah, my thing is I think the biggest deal about it is just like keeping the lights on and whatnot, right? So like keeping the dues up where it used to be a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So dues would be the equivalent of $1,000 a year, right? And they just haven't kept pace with inflation.
No,
Where I mean, now let's say, I mean, HBO is like, like HBO Max, I think is $20 a month. I might be
So you're
off,
saying that they should
but-
have monthly dues. So that's a good idea.
I like that.
That's new, but I like it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that would help. But I mean, just like take it in perspective. Like people think like $200 a year is a lot. But if you think of other things that you spend money at, like Netflix,
Yeah.
It's
or
not really that much when you think
HBO.
about it.
No, and the thing is that they really like they don't. The dues are what, a little over $100. It's like that's not anything.
Yeah.
That's chump change compared to what it was back then.
yeah,
Yeah.
They haven't kept up with inflation,
Yeah.
and the problem is that we're dwindling, we're losing numbers, and we shouldn't be.
No.
They're dropping like flies in a sense.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
shouldn't be. Like Lake Harriet, why did you close?
I don't understand.
I do not understand. Like I'm tired. Okay, so let someone else take the reins. If you'd given me the reins, I
Yeah.
could have figured
They
it.
didn't let us. They didn't want us to.
Rachel, I think I know the reason why.
Why?
Because they were probably too stubborn to allow you guys to take it on. Maybe. I honestly do not know.
And then they would tell me like, "We want you in the line." Oh wait, no, we don't. We want you in the line. I'm like, what? Just make up your damn mind.
Seriously, like it's not that fucking hard to come up with a compromise. It really, really isn't. Jeez. It's not really that difficult to understand something like that.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
We have
Now-
compromise here.
Somebody that did not understand what a Masonic term was or anything like that, I was completely blind to the fact of that. But now that my two sisters have somewhat educated me in this, I am ready to take that step in there. I'm ready to do it.
I think you'd be good at it.
Yeah, I would.
You would.
And it's going to be fun to cover that on the other channel too.
Yeah.
And more importantly, to cover it on this channel. I'm very excited to talk about it and do my own research on it and do it with you guys as well.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot. I mean,
Yes.
you've got a guy from Lake Harriet right here.
Yes, you do.
And I'm very grateful for that, man. Seriously. I cannot wait to start working on this. This is going to be fun. It really is.
You guys got really lucky because you got another Mason out of this.
Mm.
Yes. You did. You essentially got another Mason than me. Yeah.
That doesn't usually happen where Eastern Star people find Mason.
You.
Other way around, sure.
For sure.
with what's that with Eastern Star? What?
With Eastern Star, you don't find as many people finding.
It doesn't happen with Eastern Star. What?
Where
Not
Mason,
as
where an Eastern Star person goes out and finds a
Yeah.
Mason. That doesn't happen.
It's
super
pretty
often.
women dominated.
It's pretty, but
Yeah, it is.
and the problem also with Masonry, and I will say, Eastern Stars, I will say this is that there used to be a rule. This isn't true anymore, where there had to be people for a quorum, which is the amount of people you need for an actual meeting. And they used to say you needed a patron. They no longer say that anymore.
Really?
No,
No.
they changed that
I did not know that.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
So pretty
I
much what you're
remember that.
saying, it's outdated.
So it's
Yeah,
only the
yeah.
matron now.
Well, if you have you only need a matron. They prefer you have a patron. Something else they could do. This is just me being weird. Is they could have two matrons instead of a patron. They could have
They
two
could.
women. One woman reads the patron part, and one woman leads the matron part.
They
I'm
could
for
do
that.
They could do that. I'm just trying to come up with solutions. I'm not even saying that they should. I'm just
Well,
saying.
obviously, what we're saying is the two of us would have loved to have done that,
Mhm.
I think you guys would be perfect at it because you've been doing this for a while.
but they won't let us.
They
do
wouldn't
it.
let us do it, and that's something else that they could do. But of course, at the next triennium, which is every 3 years, they have their what is it called? Oh my God, most worthy grand matron, the most worthy grand matron, and her people are together,
Mhm.
and that's something else that they could work on. They could
Mhm.
say, well, maybe we don't need to have like gender specific.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to have two people in the East
Yeah,
I agree.
filling those spots.
fill in those spots. Like, who cares if they're a guy or a girl or whatever?
Mhm.
As long as you fill those positions, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Just something to think about. I'm not saying we need to, deal with it. I'm just saying something to think about.
It'd be more
Right,
inclusive.
It's more food for thought in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And you wonder about kind of getting rid of the Masonic requirement that you have to have family
know
that's a
that-
Mason?
I know that they vote on that every triennium, and it just barely doesn't pass. I know that because
Really?
because people talk.
You've been privy to conversations.
I've been
about
privy
it.
to conversations about it.
Mm.
Past worthy Grand Matron of Minnesota, Tracy Keeling, who I've known for a long time, has talked about it with me
Yes.
many times. You know, I could sit here, but she's talked about it because I think she's in the the triennium, the next triennium. That's something else that they might want to. I just think that they might want to consider doing. Anyone out there's watching that in this would be really helpful. I'm full of ideas. You guys never come to me because you think, oh well, you know, she's a, you know,
She's
purple-
not that very hard to be approachable. Trust me.
she's a purple haired, you know, person who may or may not know a thing. I know I've been on this earth at one time, and you know, rainbow. Hi, you guys need to change the hair requirement color. That has to change.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
hello.
That is kind of funny that an organization called Rainbow doesn't let you have colored hair.
I know, right?
I
That's
know
kind
that
of brain dead.
I know that they are working on it. I just don't know that, like, again, Supreme Assembly is all ancient Eastern Star people. That's what it is. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not just like young people. Like, I know that a lot of the Supreme inspectors and Supreme deputies,
Oh man.
you know, members of the House of Gold.
Yeah. I've talked to other Rainbow girls about joining Eastern Star with us, and they just say, it's just a bunch of old people. Like, well, there's only one way to fix that.
Join.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I think
Well,
it'll
you
be
know, you've heard of Prince Hall, yeah?
yes.
So they have Prince Hall OES, and they're like, they tend to be younger, like 20s,
Mhm.
30s.
Yep.
It's like a totally different organization.
Yep.
And
Um,
they wear hats, I think, too, don't they? And aprons.
Yeah,
in
I
the
think they
Prince
pictures.
Hall.
One thing
That's
that
not good.
Eastern Star has done, and it's different from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, is that in Minnesota, you no longer have to wear dresses. I think in Iowa, I think you still, at least as of like 2 or 3 years ago, you still did. I don't know if the worthy Grand Matron did away with it. I know that every single state has different ways that they deal with the worthy Grand Patron. In Minnesota, it goes, I think it's like, what is that? It's either warden or sentinel. I forget if it's warden or I can't. And then it's worthy associate grand patron, worthy grand patron. But in some states, like in Iowa, the woman selects her person to serve with her, like a couple of, like, when she knows she's going through the line, the grand line.
Yeah.
I just know these things. They're different because I know people who are Eastern Star in both Iowa and Minnesota, because I grew up in Iowa, Minnesota, Rainbow. So it would only stand to reason that I knew people in both
Yeah, it does make sense.
states.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And they're big in like having couples go through the line together.
Mhm.
So they would
Mhm.
kind of arrange it.
Yeah,
Figured out
and
that
the
way.
thing is like, I know that in our law, when we had our, like, Harriet, they were only 2 gentlemen, and they would just have to bounce back and forth between the east and west.
Yeah,
and there was
they-
also, yeah, and I think that just
they
got
got
to be, they got
tired.
tired of it. It's like, okay, well, go out
Yeah.
to the Masons and, you know, put out a call and say, excuse me, you know,
Also,
I need help here.
also, then why does it need to be men?
that's, again, that would be solved if they would allow 2 women.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think it would be better if they had 2 women running it. Honestly,
Well, they could
Well,
have either or, like
yeah.
either two women or 2 men, or a man and a woman.
I was just about to
I don't
say
see
that.
why
yeah.
it matters.
I don't get why it matters.
It doesn't. Honestly, it really doesn't matter to me.
You wonder, like, I'm sure maybe it's symbolic, like, because for a man to join the Eastern Star, he has to be a Mason, right? There's no way
I
around
think,
it.
is it a 3rd degree Mason?
Mhm.
I think it's a 3rd degree.
Yeah.
In order to do anything, you have to be 3rd degree. Like most things.
Could you answer me a question? What are the 3 degrees of Masonry again? It's something fellowship.
Well, yeah, so there's more than 3, but the first 3 are entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason.
Okay, so a master. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So how would one go obtaining all 3 of those?
Well, any lodge you go to, right? Like
Okay.
we call them Blue Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do the first 3 degrees,
Okay.
and then there's often going to be a York Rite. There's going to be like a Royal Arch chapter, oftentimes in the same lodge that meets on a different night. And then you can go through those. There's not as many cryptic councils, so you might have to go to a different lodge for that. And then they have the commandery, right? And those would have those degrees and those are all York Rite.
Yep.
And then if you join the Scottish Rite, there's going to be like a Scottish Rite Valley, right? And those are pretty much all you do them all in one go. Like you don't have to bounce into.
Yep. And then once you're a third degree Mason, you can join us in Eastern Star too.
Yep.
That's going to be fun.
Which I know you want to do.
Yeah, obviously.
And now
wouldn't have been
for
able
the
to do
shrine, you can be a third degree Mason now. You don't have to join the York Rite or the Scottish Rite.
I think
what if you don't mind me asking, what is the shrine?
You know what the shrine circus is?
Yeah, they have the fez.
The fez
Little
hats.
fez hats.
Oh,
yeah, those guys are
okay,
amazing. Those guys
And
are
they're
amazing
famous.
too.
They're famous for the cars that they drive.
Yes, those guys are amazing.
They
too.
put on a really cool parade.
Oh, the shrine parade last year. We got to go to that.
It's on our YouTube channel. Or no, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, if you know, a past grand patron, Jerry.
I love Jerry Oliver.
I think he was in the parade. I think.
Yep. I got a big hug and a kiss from him because he's really close.
Yeah, we were at that parade.
We're really close to him. We're really close. He and Jerry and his wife and I are all really close. Yeah. That's the first person you're going to be asked if you go anywhere. Do you know him?
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. Well, he's in everything, right? And he's been like the head of it in everything. Same with Tony, the Tony Krall. He's the current Grand Master of Minnesota.
You know that I remember the Kralls were in Demolay when I was in Rainbow.
Yeah, I went through with them. Yeah, like
the Kralls and then
Andy
his wife
Ben,
Dana.
Yeah.
Dana and I went to high school together.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Cool.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yep. I know who the Kralls are. The Kralls have been around forever. I know who they are. They've been around for since the old Bash days. Demolay Bash from Hiawatha Demolay, like a million. Oh God, I'm dating myself a lot. I love to date myself.
Sis, you're not that old. Stop saying that. You're 29.
Yeah, but they've gotten rid of all these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember at the old Shrine Temple, we used to have a lot of stuff over there.
I remember that too. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're from kind of like the same pod of people, I think.
I think so.
Because you're my age or my same age, so you've got to be.
Around our age.
Yeah, how old are you?
38.
I'm 37.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's 22.
I'm 38 and I was involved. Fishing in the Dark dance. I still remember that.
And she made me do it with her.
Yep. I'll teach it to you.
And my kid.
The kid knows it too.
Snowball? I don't know if they still do that.
Do you remember Bruce's wife, Liz? Nidecker?
No.
You don't remember Liz Nidecker?
I don't think so.
That's Bruce.
What is it?
Nidecker. She's Bruce Atwater's wife now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think I knew her.
Oh God, she was super famous in the community, and she's to this day, she's still a very good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We recently moved back too.
He did with his wife. Yeah, I love Bruce, and I love Alicia, and oh my God, I think we knew like a lot of the same people.
I'm looking forward to meeting those people.
Yeah, you will.
You will.
I'll meet them all.
Yeah, I remember Alicia's husband used to be at Minneapolis 19.
Princess. They called him Princess.
He hated that. Yeah.
I know, but I still remember that. They called him Princess. No one ever forgot that. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever lived that down. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know him when we were in Demolay, right? But at Unizar Lodge, he was master, and I think I was either junior warden or senior warden, right? And he had told me about, like, they called him Princess.
I haven't thought about that in like 20 years. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you took me back.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's a little weird. I don't know. Like, that's not a nice
I
thing
can't
to say.
remember how he
but-
got the nickname, but I remember it was his nickname.
Well, it's for being like perceived as effeminate. I think.
I can't remember who gave him the nickname.
The metrosexuals, as this 90s kids say.
Oh my God.
He
Wow.
wasn't even like, he didn't strike me as, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but he
No,
didn't
there's
even
nothing
strike
wrong
me as
with it.
effeminate. But so
Yeah. This is really
I don't know.
Like, I'm sure
But
we know.
people, like, I think I'm kind of like him, where like I've been told that I have like a Niles Crane vibe, right?
Mhm.
And so, I mean, so does he, right? And sometimes people assume that I'm gay, right? Just because I don't know, but because I have that
I've
vibe.
been struck as that as well too. Seriously, people have actually thought that I've been fucking gay. Do I look like I'm gay?
I did his
No.
makeup.
Yeah, he wears his makeup wear.
Yeah.
This has been really
Right.
fun, and we would really like to invite you a cordial invitation to be at one of our lives on the Gala Sisters, where we can take questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're relatively close, I'm in Northeast Minneapolis, right?
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
we could do it in person.
That would be awesome. That is really great that we literally ended up falling in our laps like that.
Yeah,
that is
and-
so great.
We also extend to you a cordial invitation to help him join Masonry.
I'm down for that. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to talk later about that in private. That's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to getting to know you, man. Seriously, this is a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it.
See, he's excited. We got
Yeah,
you under Mason.
sure.
Never happens. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to do this in person.
Mhm.
I agree.
We can do
Yeah,
like a
good
Q&A
deal.
or something.
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Like a live
Yes.
Q&A somewhere.
I agree,
We
Rita.
should.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
That'd be
We
fun.
could even go like, I know that Panera has like rooms that you can sit in
They do. Yes.
with
should do that.
tables, and it could be kind of like a panel table.
Yeah, we could do a panel.
Yes.
That would be,
You can live
yeah,
stream
there
it
you
through
go.
Mhm.
We should
Yeah.
do that for sure.
We could do that.
Or like I was thinking, because like we had talked about true crime, right? And that would be good, like to be on there, because like I don't see my channel becoming anything to do with true crime, right? But like all the
Ooh.
theories that you can come up with on what's going on, right?
That's up my ballpark too. True
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah.
That's
We
up
can
in my
also do that.
ballpark as well too.
Yeah, so obviously, thank you so much for inviting us to be
Yep.
guests, reminiscing about the past, because apparently you and I are from the same pod of junior organizations, which is really, really, really amazing.
That's cool.
It is so cool that we know a past DeMolay, because I don't know many DeMolay boys, honestly. I can always answer any questions.
Oh shoot,
about
what was
it.
that?
I don't know many former DeMolay boys anymore. I haven't spoken to most of you guys in decades, except maybe saw a few with the exception of a handful of people. I'm so glad that we're friends now. This is so amazing, so
I
wonderful.
agree.
We are so lucky to have you in our lives, brother Elliot. We are so happy to, because that's the polite way to address you. Thank you so much
Definitely,
for
brother
allowing me to talk about my experience with Rainbow, especially since Rainbow is the highest one who's lost the most members. We need to find a way to get Rainbow back up and running. I'm always willing to talk. Ladies, if you have any questions about Rainbow, please ask me. You can DM us at the Gala Sisters on Twitter, the Gala Fam on Instagram, the Gala Sisters on Facebook, the Gala Sisters and the Gala Sisters 2.0 on TikTok, or you can simply send us an email at thegalasisters@gmail.com.
Nope. The Gala fam at
Oh, the
gmail.com.
Gala
Yeah, the
Fam
Gal Fam
at
at
gmail.com. If you have any
Yeah.
further questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you would like to join, you can, especially for Eastern Star, you can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Rachel. You can probably reach out to Elliot if you have any desire in joining. Because, what's one more brother or sister?
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you have any, like I said, any further questions, you can always ask. I pretty much will answer whatever I can.
And if we can't, we will find someone who can.
And if you need to join other states, ask, because I have contacts in all 50 states.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Which
She
is
does.
very amazing. I especially have a lot in Alaska.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on. It was fun. We should do it
You're
again
welcome.
sometime.
All right. Okay. All right.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and everybody, thanks for watching. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Just give it a minute.